So, are you guys ready to have this conversation about this club? Are you guys now calm, collected after what happened yesterday? Have you guys slept well? And should we have a conversation about this club, about this manager, about these players? And this isn't going to be a conversation where I'm going to be crashing out. This isn't going to be a conversation about me getting angry, me shouting. This is not. This is going to be a therapy session. We are going to release everything inside of us. Fast forward, bro. Everything inside of us. I said it yesterday. Let's talk about it now. Let's talk about it with real, honest thoughts. No sugarcoating, no hiding around the bush, no trying to defend this player, defend this player, defend this player just because I like this player. None of this nonsense now. Let's honestly have an honest conversation because I think it's time. I think it's time to have this conversation. After what happened yesterday, and I'm gonna be so real with you guys here. No more I'm 19, I'm 20 years old gimmick. None of that gimmick no more. I've watched this team for 23 years. I've watched this team with 23 years of existence. And I've watched the good times, I've watched the bad times. I've watched us win Champions Leagues, I haven't won. I've watched us get knocked out in the round of 16 every single year in a stretch where it went about 7 to 8 years. I've seen the good days, I've seen the bad days. This season, and if you go back over the last decade, which is most what I believe most of my subscribers, you guys, I'm not expecting you guys to be old. I'm not expecting you guys to be old heads as myself, as an unk. I'm expecting you guys to start to watch this team over the past decade, I would say, within the last decade. And the one season that comes to mind straight away is 17-18. 17-18 was a disappointment. 17-18 was a bad season for Real Madrid. They lost against Ajax. It was a bad season. A bad season. This season, though, is much worse. This season is much worse than what 18-19 was. Apologies. 18-19, we had just lost Ronaldo. We had just lost Zidane. So our manager was gone. And our club, our best player, top goal scorer, our, our greatest ever player has just left us. So we had to now adapt to play without everything about him and our manager. So we were going into like a transition year. This club, this team, this season isn't a transition period. We had just won the Champions League and the league last season. And we added the best player in the world who was considered the best player in the world for the past 3 years. So this season should have never turned out to be the way this season has turned out to be. This is why this season has been a disappointment. Because I cannot remember this team playing well more than one game. And it's always us going back to that one game against City. But if we actually break it down, if you actually put it into context, that game against City, we played against the worst City side ever since Pep took over. So we can't even put that game on the pedestal of like, you know what, let's chase this performance because that performance is actually a myth. And I actually believe, us believing over the past week that we could come back and all the hype, the remontadas, wallah, it was just fantasy, bro. It was just fantasy. Because I said it yesterday in my match review. How can we as a collective, not just myself, I'm sure all of you guys have watched Real Madrid this season and you guys have been upset with Real Madrid this season. You guys have been disappointed with how we've played this season. How can we watch how we've played this season from August till now? Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. From August to September to October, nothing has changed. Despite Carlo coming out after each game saying things will improve, nothing has changed since August. How can we watch that? And all the performances that we've dropped throughout this whole season. Every big game we get battered. How can we do that and still have faith that this team would have come back yesterday from a 3-0 defeat? It was just, wallah, it was just... We weren't thinking straight. We weren't thinking with objective thoughts, bro. We weren't thinking real, bro. It was just fantasy. We were just praying. It was just vibes. Vibes. There was no clear thought process behind it. And now, the reality has hit. We got knocked out in an embarrassing fashion. After all the hype that we did. By the way, this is one of the main talking points for me. It is what we did over the past 5, 6, 7 days was embarrassing. Straight up embarrassing. All the hype that we did, the promo videos every single day, the players coming out in interviews, the player statements, the IG pages. You've got family relatives coming out, bro. Rodrigo's uncle, fam. Rodrigo's dad was at the Santiago Bernabeu at 3 or 4 a.m., fam. This brother was praying Fajr, fam. This brother was praying Fajr outside the stadium, act. This guy went at Fajr time there, bro. I said, let's pray, fam. You had Arda Güler's babysitter come out with, inshallah, we will win. Who the hell were you, act? So what we did over the past 3 to 4, 5 days was embarrassing, especially with the performance that we dropped. And now the performance that we dropped was just disgraceful. 3 shots on target in 103 minutes. And we were the team that was supposed to chase the game. And it's funny how Carlo Ancelotti over the past week kept saying, we will improve, we will change, we will change. Again, it comes down to us, not why are we believing it? Why are we being gaslighted? This guy's been saying we will change since August and it hasn't changed. Why do we think it would instantly change in April? But what I said yesterday about certain players, and I had the night to think about it, and I feel like I was being a bit too harsh. I felt like I was maybe going a bit extra. I think the emotions got to me yesterday. And I think it's unfair to criticize the whole team. I mean, not just as players, but I mean, listen, the performance yesterday didn't help, so they deserved criticism. But I think I went too far in calling some players not good enough. And those players, they've given us a lot. They've given us for the past 3 to 4 years. They were there last season in the Champions League, in the league. They were there 3 years ago. So it's unfair for me to criticize and now for me to make a decision or to determine who they are as a player just because of this season. I'm not going to let a season cloud my judgment. This is what you call recency bias. I'm not going to let recency bias tell me that Vinicius Jr. is not a bad player, which is what a lot of Real Madrid fan bases now are starting to think, that he's not a good player. He is a good player. And this is what I said about 2 months ago when I made a video about Vinicius Jr. asking what's going on with Vinny Jr. this season. I said that Vinny Jr. has got money in the bank. He is allowed a bad season. He's allowed to have a bad season because of what he's given us. There's a lot of players in this team who's allowed to do that. That's why I'm not going to let this season cloud my judgment in most of them. In most of them. You've got the Vinnies, you've got the Rodrigos, you've got the Chimenis, the Camavingas, a lot of players. And I don't think any of us can make a decision on this team or make an opinion about this team till a different manager comes in. Because I think everyone can now see. Some fans have seen it for the past couple of years. I witnessed it within the first season Carlo took charge, that this team would not go far in terms of managerial, in terms of tactically, with this guy in charge. I felt it after the first couple of months that he wasn't the right manager for us. But the trophies mattered. The trophies mattered, and everyone looks at trophies. Trophies is the currency of success in football. And everyone looked at it. Everyone looked at it and said, well, he's winning trophies. Who are you to say that? But the luck is running out. The luck continued longer than what I thought, by the way. The luck continued longer than I thought. I did not think last season was going to turn out to be last season, especially with Benzema leaving us. When Benzema left us 2 years ago, and after we got smacked by City 4-0, I thought last season was going to be a bad season for us. Especially with no Mbappe, because Mbappe was supposed to join us last season after Benzema left us. Benzema left us, and we had no defensive signings, and we only signed Jude Bellingham. So I was like, bro, this is going to be a bad season, but it turned out to be successful because why? The luck continued. The luck continued last season. But there was always going to be a stage where the luck would run out, and this is where the luck has now finally run out for Carlo Ancelotti. And I've got my thoughts about Carlo, and this is why this is a therapy session. I'm not gonna let my feelings and emotions control or cloud my judgment what I think of him as a manager. He will go down in terms of statistically and in terms of on paper, he will go down as the greatest manager of Real Madrid history. And that's nothing that I can do to argue against it. This guy's won 3 Champions League with Madrid. The league titles he's won with Madrid. His win ratio is higher. I think Zidane's higher than him. I think Jose might be higher than him. But the trophies that he's won with Real Madrid. He was the one that brought the La Decima. The La Decima, which is no manager at that point could have done it. He was the one that brought it back. So Carlo's history in Madrid will always be there. And I don't think this season will cloud anything of how Madrid fans will think about him. maybe myself, but it was always going to be time. And I think I'm happy now. I've seen the reports of him potentially leaving the season, depending on what happens in the final or against Barcelona in May, or what happens in the league or the Club World Cup, and the managers coming in, whether it's Jurgen Klopp, whether it's Xabi Alonso. I'm gonna make a video about that in the La Liga round show, news show. Apologies, tomorrow when it comes out, and I'm gonna give my opinion on that. But in today's video, it's mostly about what next, and I'm happy that everyone now knows what next for Real Madrid cannot be with him as in charge. And that's why I'm not going to make my opinion about those players, specifically Mbappe. Mbappe being, I think, the biggest talking point of what happened yesterday. Him going out with an injury. Let's be real, fam. You're not injured yesterday. You're not injured, bro. Bro, I've seen it happen before. I used to do that as well. When I'm not having a good game, and when the eyes is on me and I'm getting embarrassed by another team, and I'm seeing my former team qualify further than myself, of course I'm going to play that little injury gimmick. And it worked out for you. Whether you'll be here against Barcelona in the Cup of the Rey next weekend, I don't know. It doesn't really change. It doesn't really change anything for Real Madrid. Whether you play, whether you don't play, you haven't given us nothing this season to basically miss you, to miss your importance, to miss who you are as a player. You haven't. But I'm not going to, like I said yesterday, my emotions got the best out of me. I'm not going to make a judgment where I lose my stock on every single one of them, because I think every one of them, even Mbappe's having, for me, this is the worst season of any superstar we've ever witnessed in this game. Worst season. If you put context into it, this is the worst season, period. Context matters. And if we add context to it, this guy's having the worst season ever. I will still have hope for him next season under a new manager, because this manager hasn't put everyone out there to succeed. This manager has basically said to all the players, you try to solve this out by yourself. You try to figure this out by yourself. So it's tough for a player to do it every single game. At one point, I can do it for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months, but I can't do it for a whole season. The only person who could have done it is Karim Benzema. Karim Benzema basically saved us every single round, whether that's Paris Saint-Germain, Chelsea, City, or Liverpool. He saved us. But Mbappe can't do that. Vinny this season can't do that. Rodrigo can't do that. Jude did it last season in the league. He can't do it this season. It's too much. You can't expect them to literally save you every single season. So that's why where the players now looking at the manager, can you help us with anything? The manager can't help us. Instead, what is he doing? He's vaping, fam. He's vaping on the stands, on the touchline. So you can't expect him. And now even the players now starting to realize and starting to look at the manager. Like Thibaut came out yesterday and said, we kept crossing and maybe we should not be crossing. Maybe we should play football. Danny Ceballos said we didn't deserve to win because we didn't play good football and we need to change. Jude Bellingham said we haven't been running and that is maybe down to us and maybe the management. Chemeni is saying, so even now the players are now looking at Carlo Ancelotti like, my brother, like, can you now please coach us tactically, or are you finished on that department? If you are, just leave. Now the players respect him as a manager, as a human being, but now they all know what I've known, that this guy is past it now. This guy can't take Real Madrid further. And that's why I'm not going to make my judgment of all the players before a new manager comes in. If a new manager comes in with a different system and a different tactic, actual tactic in place, actual system in place, and those players still underperform, this is where I'm going to put my hands on and say, you know what, I was wrong about Rodrigo. I was wrong about Mbappe. I was wrong about this. Maybe they weren't good enough. Maybe he wasn't good enough. Because there's a lot of players I've hyped up for Real Madrid over the past 3 years, and deservedly so because of what they've done in crucial moments, in clutch moments. But this season is an eye-opener for myself. Because if you're trying to be labelled as a superstar and a world-class talent, consistency is so important. This season, I haven't seen consistency. This season, I haven't seen none of it. Maybe only by 2 or 3 players. And I'm looking forward to our player ratings of each player, where I'm going to put them in terms of 25-1. Because trust me, this is going to be so difficult. Because my top 2, top 3 for me is certain. It's done. But this is where I'm going to now struggle. Who's going to be 4th? Who's going to be 5th? Who's going to be 6th? Who's going to... It's struggle. Because it's a mid-off, literally. From outside the top 5 to the 25 is a mid-off. It's a complete mid-off. Top 3 for me is done. But this is where I'm going to calm down, collected, and I'm going to wait till a new manager comes in. And I think this is what everyone should do. Wait for a new manager to come in before we can make our actual opinion and judgment about this team and what next about this team. Because what next about this team, we all know. We all know that we need centre-backs. We all know that we need full-backs. We all know that we need a midfielder. We all know that we need a striker. We need depth. But this is the problem. This is why I keep saying, it's funny that people constantly say depth. Because that's the general public's opinion. Madrid need this, Madrid need that, Madrid need this, Madrid need that. They need depth. But the depth has always been on the bench for us. Carlo has never used it. But why is Odegaard not getting used? That's the depth. Endrick, that's the depth. So if a new manager comes in, are they going to be used or are we going to sign new players? I feel like Carlo has failed in so many different ways this season. And if he had used the depth, if he had used the options that we had on the bench, I don't think the season would have turned out to be the way it has. And this is why I'm very disappointed in how this season has turned out to be. But let's see next season. Under a new manager, we can then all make a decision about these players and this team. And this is why this is the therapy session. I'm happy you guys have listened in. If you guys still staying in, fairs. Let me know what you guys think. Because I think it's disappointing what happened yesterday. Very disappointing. And I don't think anyone could have expected the way to turn out the way it had be. It's crazy. It's crazy what having a manager can do to your club. Because if you look at the semi-final right now, Inter, PSG, Barca, and Arsenal, all 4 of them, you look at them with 4 great managers. Enrique, Inzaghi, Hansi Flick, and Arteta. You look at us. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm sorry to have wasted and waffled for too long. Put down in the comments what you guys think about. If you guys share the same opinion as myself, if you guys have already lost your stocks, and if you guys have already wasted your time and said and made your conclusion that this guy's not good enough, that he has to leave, then fair play. I'm not gonna argue, because everyone's got different opinion about the sport. So if you have lost your stocks on Vinny, on Rodrigo, on Mbappe, on Jude, on Alaba, Rudiger, Raul, Thibaut, whatever it is, Fede, Camavinga, Chumeni, if you've lost all your stocks on certain players, just put it down in the comments. If you share the same opinion as myself that we can't make that opinion before waiting and seeing what a new manager has in store for us, then that's different. Because if a new manager comes in and those players that I've just mentioned still don't perform next season, this is where I'm going to cross the line now and said, you are not good enough. And maybe I hyped you way too much. But that's why I'm going to give everyone a pass. Not a pass that they deserve it, but more a pass that the manager hasn't put them in a situation to be successful. Let's see, man. But I do appreciate all the support that you guys have shown this channel. And all the love. Shout out all of you guys. And I'll be here tomorrow with a La Liga news show. Last week it was Real Madrid and Barcelona. This week it's Real Madrid, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. See you tomorrow.